welcome to GemChem. Now today's video is on ionic bonding part 4 video, and as told in the previous video we are going to deal with Born-Haber cycle in 3 videos. So this is the second video of Born-Haber cycle and its application. Now in this video we are going to deal with the formation of oxygenyl superoxide, oxygenyl fluoroborate and sodium chloride formation. Now before starting, if you have not watched the previous videos on ionic bonding, you can watch it. I will give the link in the description box as well as the I button. Now, important about this is that the previous video is being delivered in Hindi. So if someone has problem in Hindi lecture, then you can tell me in the comment box. Then I can make a separate video on English for ionic bonding part 3 video. Now let us start. Now in the previous video we had a checkpoint where we had mentioned that we have to use the Born-Haber cycle for magnesium bromide. Now these were the datas, and those who have done the sum, so the answer comes to be as 2421 kilojoule per mole. Now those who couldn't do it, for them it's solved here, so just check it out. So now formation of magnesium bromide, this is a formation constant. Magnesium solid plus bromine liquid forms magnesium bromide, which is solid. Now this magnesium needs to go to gaseous state first by sublimation, and then it should lose 2 electrons to go to magnesium 2+, and then bromine, which is present in liquid, it must vaporize to give bromine in gaseous state, so delta H vap, and this bromine must dissociate into 2 Br, that is, it should undergo dissociation to produce 2 Br in gaseous state, and these Brs gains 2 electron, so 1 electron each for 1 Br to get 2 Br minus. Now this is 2E1, that is electron affinity for each of the bromine atom is E1. Now these two ions, that is Mg2 plus 2 Br minus, produces Mgbr2, and this is opposite of lattice enthalpy, and we have discussed about this minus sign in the previous video, so you have to watch that first and then come to this one. Ultimately, if we apply this and then use Hess's law, then we can write delta HF equals to delta H sub plus delta H vap plus D plus 2E1 plus I1 plus I2 plus minus U0, that is this one. Now then we consequently substitute each of these variables. Remaining part is the minus U0, and then we can finally obtain the value of minus U0 to be as minus 2421. So minus minus cancels in both sides, and ultimately we get the answer. Now from this next part we are going to start the ionic bonding part 4 video, and first compound formation is formation of oxygenyl superoxide. Now let us see the question. The ionization energy and electron affinity of molecular oxygen are respectively given as 1165 and minus 42 kilojoule per mole. You have to explain whether the formation of oxygenyl superoxide, what is this oxygenyl superoxide? It is O2 plus and O2 minus. So whether this formation is favored or not, and lattice energy is given as 500 kilojoule per mole. Now always remember, compounds formation will be favored only when this delta HF is negative. If it comes to be positive, then it is not favored. So let us go to the Haber cycle. Now see, one oxygen plus another oxygen forms this one. So what is the process? One loses electron and another gains an electron. So here O2 in gaseous state loses 1 electron. So this is ionization energy I1, and it ultimately gives us O2 plus. Secondly, another oxygen moiety then gains 1 electron to give us O2 minus. This O2 plus and O2 minus finally comes together to form this oxygenyl superoxide, and this is opposite, this process is opposite of lattice energy, so lattice energy is given by minus U0. Now if we just substitute these values here, then according to the Hess's law we can write delta H formation is equals to I1 plus E1 plus minus U0, right? Now I1 is given to be as 1165. So this is the value of I1. E1 is given as minus 42 and minus U0 is given as minus 500. So ultimately our answer comes to be as plus 623 kilojoule per mole. Thus you have to understand, since the formation constant is coming to be as positive value, so this reaction is not favored. So in nature, formation of oxygenyl superoxide is not favored at all. Next question is, explain using the following data and suitable Born-Haber cycle why NaCl2 is non-existent but NaCl is stable. So remember, we know that NaCl, sodium chloride, is in the form of NaCl, but never we have seen NaCl2. Why this is so? This can be explained using Born-Haber cycle in explicit manner. So here are the data given. We will use each of these data to finally culminate our Born-Haber cycle and find the answer of this question. So let us first construct the Born-Haber cycle. Now first we will construct the Born-Haber cycle for NaCl. So for constructing NaCl's Born-Haber cycle, we need sodium and chlorine. So sodium is present as solid, whereas chlorine is present as gas. And we require one chlorine and one sodium. So first we need to dissociate this Cl2 into one chlorine gas. Next, there will be an uptake of electrons. So electron affinity is given by E1 to give Cl- gaseous. And for the sodium solid, there will be sublimation to the gaseous state, and then this gaseous sodium will lose one electron and there will be ionization energy I1 to give Na+. So this Na+ and Cl- combines, and this is the lattice energy because these two combines to give NaCl, and this is opposite of the breakdown of lattice. So this is minus U01 for the first process. Now we are going to see for the formation of NaCl2. Now what happens here? Here there is two changes, that is dissociation energy is D here because two chlorines are needed, and here we require two ionization energies so that it becomes Na2+. Now these two combines to give us NaCl2, and here the opposite of lattice energy is minus U02. Now if we just put the values according to the Hess's law, that is delta HF for NaCl is equals to delta H sub plus D by 2 plus E1 plus I1 plus minus U01. Then we get a value of minus 404 kilojoule per mole. But in the same way, if we put each and every values for this cycle particularly for NaCl2, then we can see that the value comes to be as plus 2530 kilojoule per mole. Thus it becomes easy to explain, that is, since the formation constant of NaCl is in negative, so formation is favored, whereas for NaCl2, since the value is coming in positive direction, so the formation is not possible and it is non-existent. Right. Now we will go for the checkpoint. Now this is a question. Explain whether the formation of oxygenyl tetrafluoroborate is possible, that is energetically favored or not, and you can explain it by using the oxygenyl superoxide Born-Haber cycle and few knowledges of previous cycles. So try to construct the Born-Haber cycle and find the answer. In the next video we are going to discuss about the solution. So first take a screenshot of this. So this much for today. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe and comment.